Hi, it's Joe. I'm here with a video for Through the Craft Room Door magazine. We're going to do a fun project today that's super quick, super easy, and doesn't take a lot of supplies. And this is just a sample of the card, and I call it Wobble It because it's the little spring mechanism to put on your card to make something that you want dimensional to wobble a little bit. So it just gives it a little bit of whimsy. All right, let me show you what supplies we're going to need. We don't need a whole lot of supplies. I have even the makings for the card in with my supply list here. So an old pair of scissors or wire cutter, something that you're okay with cutting wire with. Okay, I'm going to be needing something to wind the wire on. So depending on how big your piece is that you're going to use this under would determine the width or the circumference of the item you're going to use to wrap the wire. And speaking of wire, we are going to need wire, and you don't need a really thick wire, but you do need something that's going to be sturdy enough that so it'll bounce. And the heavier the object you're going to be putting on that, of course, you'll probably want to go up to a little higher gauge. I wish I could tell you what the gauge of this wire is. I don't know because this wire was actually part of an entire set of wire that I've had for quite a while. But I think like a floral wire would probably do the trick. And this is just a tool that I'm going to be using to hold the little circles down, and I'll show you that in a second when I'm getting ready to put the glue on. Probably some sort of a punch. It's not necessary, but it's to punch out to make the little wobblets. And then you're going to need, of course, the cardstock that you're going to use. And this is what I'm going to be using to make Wobble. Now I do have some Tombow Mono multi-adhesive, but that's mainly to adhere the card together. So I'll go ahead and put that aside. First thing we're going to do, you're going to take your wire and you're going to take your tool that you want to wind with. Now being that this is not, the heart is not a huge item, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it. I'm going to leave a small tail. Hoping you can see this. Let's see, a small tail. And I'm probably going to wrap it maybe 3 full times. And then that tail, and I'm going to leave that tail there. Now I'm going to take my scissors, and again I'm still going to leave another tail at the top part, so we're just going to give that a quick cut. So now we have, and I'm going to bring those tails around just a little bit, just not too much, but a little bit. Okay, so now we have what basically looks just like a little spring. Let me hold that up so you can see it. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to take your first little dot here, and I'm going to hold it down with this. That's the only reason you need it. Of course, if you use a bigger piece, then you won't necessarily need that tool. So I'm going to put a little glob down of the glue. And now I'm going to take and just kind of dip it all around in there and see that it stays on there. Okay. I'm going to push that one aside because I do need 2 of them because I want that glue to set up. And I already have another spring here made. So again, I'm just going to take the glue, put a little dab down. And please be careful because, you know, glue guns, they are hot. This is on a low temp. So, you know, you're not out to get as burned as bad, but you can still get burned, and we don't want any of that happening. So be very careful, please. Okay, I've got that one all set. And I have one more, even though I really don't need it, but I want to go ahead so you can see it again one more time. And there's my little disc, circle, punch, cut out, whatever you want to use. You could even just cut little squares out if you wanted to. As long as it's less than the size of your object you want to bounce around, you'll be fine. Again, I'm just kind of dipping that in there and getting it moved around just so it'll get good adhesion. Okay, so let's go back to our first one. And it seems nice and dry and sturdy. And this is what it'll look like. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take another circle. I'm going to put another little gob down, just like this. And now I'm going to take, whoops, the one I've already glued, and I'm going to go ahead and set that in there the same way, getting it to kind of set up. And then it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because of course you can bend it once you're done. And I actually got my tip in the glue a little bit, so I'm going to use this to take it off. So we're going to leave that to set aside. The one thing you don't want to do is don't take and press this down because your glue is still wet, so you'll end up gluing it together, and that you just don't want. Okay, and we'll go ahead and I'll show you these again. Another little dab, and I didn't use my pokey tool this time. And I'm just going to dip that in there real well. Set that aside, and one more time. Again, a little dab. Little things are hard to keep a hold of sometimes. A pair of tweezers probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. If you have to, you can press it down in there with this little tool. Okay. I'm going to set that aside. So while those are drying, we'll go ahead and assemble the card. Pretty easy. This is just some double-sided Valentine paper that I've cut out and I've sponged around the edge. I'm just going to put it on a standard size card. I know it's a little difficult to see because it is onto a white card, but okay. Now this is just something that I have cut out with my Cameo. You could use anything. It doesn't have to be a cutout. It could be an image you've colored in and you just want to highlight with some hearts or something like that. This is a cutout that's done by a girl who offers these free on her site. It's birdscards.com. I will put her link in the description box in case you'd like to check that out. She doesn't just do them for Cameo. They're in numerous different types of files. So I'm not going to do this real good. I'm just going to hit a few spots just because we don't want to take up all the time to do it. Okay, and I'm just going to take that and we're going to put that on the card. Like I said, I didn't put a lot of glue on there. All right, so next what you're going to do is now we're going to adhere the little wobble it to the item that you want to put on your card. Now, again, I'm just using a glittered heart, and I'm going to use my same hot glue. I'm going to put a little dab on the back of this. Again, being careful not to burn yourself. And let's just get that pressed down on there. We can always use the little pokey tool here. Okay. And since I'm going to put two of them on there, I'm going to do a second one. So again, I'm just taking my heart, whoops, that's now stuck to me. And then I'm going to, again, just a little glob of glue. Press it on there. Now you're just about done. So now what we're going to do is take your card, put that in there for you. And I'm just going to use the glue. There's a good old glob right there, so we'll get that. Just going to use the hot glue. And I kind of want to go this way this time. And again, I'm going to use that little pokey tool and I'm going to press down just to make sure I got a good contact with the paper. And be sure not to push too hard like I almost did because otherwise you're going to be gluing the heart down. So let's go ahead again one more time. Take another little glob of glue. And let's see, we'll make the heart go this way. There we go. That's all that's to it. And there you have your little bouncies. Now, it's really a fun, cute card to do. The only thing is, I would suggest that this be one of the type of cards that you would probably want to put in bubble wrap and send, only because of the dimension, and you don't want it to get bent out of shape or anything. So, um, it's perfect if you just want to put it with a gift or, a box of candy in this case, since it's Valentine's Day card. So I hope you've enjoyed the video and that you will give this a try. It is super easy to do, and you can adjust it to the size of whatever it is that you're going to be putting on there that you want to wobble. If you have a larger item, such as maybe a squared card or a squared image that you've colored in, then you would actually find something a little bit wider in diameter in order to wrap your wire around. But that's all that's to it. Again, hope you'll check out the magazine with all the other wonderful tutorials that are out there for you and card samples. We enjoy bringing the magazine to you on a bi-monthly basis. So stop on over and check us out. Thanks for watching.